to the Grown Up Group. This is a podcast of regular people tackling the world from a Black perspective. Today we're discussing man versus bear because we had to dive into this. There's a trend going on and all these different social websites, and I got to be honest with you and say this sounds like madness to me. I do understand where they're coming from. They're thinking that a man could be a predator and aggressive, and they wouldn't be safe if they were with left alone in the woods with a man versus a bear. But I'm just curious what the team's thoughts are. So, Jazz, please give me your thoughts.
I absolutely agree because when you're with a bear, you know this bear is a killer. More than likely, it's a brown bear or a grizzly bear, whatever it is. Either one, you make yourself bigger to appear bigger so you can scare them off, or either one who's gonna, you gotta play, dead with you basically. But with a man, you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know if they go. You don't know. You walking down the street like that man in New York. You are walking down the street and he lassos you with a freaking belt and puts you between two cars and assaults you. That is out of this world. A bear would never. That's why they say, man, the man of the bear. You know what the bear's gonna do. But but either way, you're in danger. But with a man, it's like, I don't know what this man gonna do. A bear is like, okay, he's a killer, he's a predator. I already know what it is. A man, you don't know if he's gonna kill you, assault you. You just don't know, and it's been proven too many times where I'm just walking down the street and here you go. It could be anything. It don't even have to be necessarily S8 or whatever, but just like this verbally abused or just felt like they feeling unsafe in general. It's terrible. Like I just at this point after that story it was like the bear, the bear, the bear, the bear. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I'm against
Uh-huh.
it. I'm actually because I
Right,
live in
right.
the woods. I live in the woods. So while
Okay.
you can scare a bear off, if a bear is hungry enough, they will attack. So
Right.
when it comes to brown bear and grizzly bear, they don't attack by nature. It's usually black bears. But I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that
yeah.
my odds against the bear versus a man, I could fight a man and be okay. I think of a Tory Lanez or somebody like that. I'm like, I could square up with him and be okay. Like,
Right, right,
I need somebody
right,
small and frail. But I mean, even if it was a man and he's a bigger stature than me, I'm gonna put up a hell of a fight. I'm gonna make sure I
right,
bite
right,
off.
right,
Even if he offs me, his DNA is gonna be under my nails. It's gonna be in my
right,
teeth.
right.
I'm a claw and fight my way as best as possible. When they find my body composed or decomposed, whatever it may be, it's gonna be every
Still
trace of
be
his
there.
DNA on me. Like, even if he
Right,
essays me, like there's gonna be some type of DNA to say this person was here and he did something wrong. I
right.
think about that and I think about like, what are the odds of me fighting a bear and being able to come back from that versus me fighting a man and being able to survive
Really, like, good luck with that. Yeah,
or outrun
yeah, I
him.
get it.
I possibly could outrun him or possibly be able to get away. There's some type of way. And, I keep safety things on me. When my daughters first, I'll never forget, they became like 10. I think I bought them all like a thing of mace. I have an account with
Hmm.
mace.com and I could get them mace. I get them the keychains that you could gouge someone. I have a bunch of self-defense items that, I know in the case of them being attacked or assaulted, they would be able to get to their weaponry and represent. You know what I mean? I'm saying,
Right.
we grew up in an era where we had to protect ourselves from, men and girls and everything. Anybody else coming for our neck, anybody coming for us. We
Yeah.
know how to fight a good fight. So I'm like, I think I
Right.
might be able to take them because I've beaten some
Right.
in the past where I'm like, oh, he think he gonna come for me. And you know what I mean? When you have to take a
Right.
stance for yourself in that defense, that adrenaline hit, only God knows what you could accomplish. So I'm gonna say I would pick the man. I would pick the man. I think my odds and
Right. I get
chances
it.
of
I
fighting
get
him,
it.
or basically, or even I look at it from a perspective of this, right? We're in the woods for a reason. Why are we in the woods? Maybe we could help each other survive. Maybe we could see each other, to the path where we need to be clear. We both have a commonality where we're both human. So we may be able to have some logical conversations and say,
Right.
hey, how do we come up out of this? Or how do we, get past this? That's my logic from saying a man versus a bear, because I think a
Yeah.
bear would just basically be like, no, you're food. I'm hungry today and you're
Right.
food.
Right.
You're gonna be it. And I don't know when that trigger might be pulled because I can't see his digestive tract and when everything clears. So he might be like, today's the day you die. And I don't need that in
Right.
my life.
Right.
So I'm like,
Right.
I think with another human being, I'd be at least able to talk to him and have some common
Right.
ground,
Something.
find some
Yeah.
common
Because
ground.
if a
And pray
bear
that I
gets you,
don't
good
get a
luck with that.
dama. Pray I don't get a dama where he like, I'm gonna need to eat her thigh because her thigh looking
Right.
kind of juicy. Pray
That's
I
a
don't get
whole nother.
somebody
That's a
from
whole
that
nother.
perspective. Yeah. Yeah,
a whole nother. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, it's terrible. Like I just don't understand what some people's mind. I'm gonna say men, talk about this man in general. Like what be in your mind? Like you just going just defenseless women and kids, like right, and it's almost like I'd rather be barefoot than like, because I said, I didn't even see the video with a man when he did that. I saw the still of like the picture of it, and I
Hmm.
could not stomach watching it. They was like the comments alone was enough to be like, I can't watch this. It's traumatized. I can't watch it. They were like, yo, all the men were like, yo, I would off him. That's crazy. Nobody saw that. And then some men, you had some men just like that don't really like women because why would you make a comment like, well, why she's walking there late at night? Do you know what time it was?
Oh, you saw the guy that dragged the girl behind between those two cars?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
like
that video. That
yeah,
was
and I
terrible.
couldn't watch it.
That was
Yeah, so
terrible.
then
Yeah.
there's some men like she should have been by herself. She have headphones in. Why she should have had headphones? Her headphones should have been off. She should have been her head should have been on swivel. Why can't I just walk down the street and mind my business? Why they always blame the victim? That's why a lot of women don't get talk about me when they're assaulted because the first thing they say was, "What you have on? Shouldn't have been here." So it's like that. When I
But
tell you,
that
I
makes
could
the
not.
sense why you said the bear because the bears are gonna stop and ask you, "Oh, what are you wearing? I think you luring me. I think you trying to seduce
Right,
me." Like, you know
right.
what I mean? The bear's not gonna be like,
You're
"Oh, yeah."
enticing me.
Like,
Nah,
"Oh, yeah, this is after yeah, she from plotting
right.
on her." Yeah, that
How,
mentality.
how, for in real life, what really happens to us, I'm gonna say us, like women in general, when we're assaulted, it just
Yeah, yeah,
happens at some
yeah.
random, like minding my business, like making my way downtown, and then here he comes,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like you have to be mentally messed up to actually let somebody you don't know. It's just so when I
So
say disturbing,
I want to say, like, as the world turns, as it continues to grow, and
yes,
as we continue to move in it is getting wild out here more and more every day. I don't put nothing past nobody, and I said it to someone. I don't trust nobody. I am that girl that walk in New York City sometimes at close at night, 8 o'clock at night. And I got to tell you, I do keep my head on swivel. I do keep my bag strapped around my body. I do keep
mm-hmm,
mace while I walk on my keychain right in my hand. I never forget. So I heard somebody approach me from the back, and I turned around. I spray
immediately,
painted his whole entire face because I didn't know who you were, but I heard you
right,
coming, and then you sound like
right,
you were moving faster and faster upon me. That immediately, I went into defense mode, and I immediately
right.
turned and sprayed because I'm like, you should have crossed the street. You know, you approaching me. You know, it's
No,
not
my
9 something at
mother,
night. So it's things like that that I take into account, and I'm very much, especially because I work in New York, I'm very much aware of my surroundings. I make sure I take the same
right,
local streets. I see the same people faces as best as possible. When I do see somebody new face, I'm like, what are they doing here? They don't belong. Like, so you do have to be aware of your surroundings, but I do not blame the victims ever.
no,
Um,
no. My mother always say when you walking, I'm gonna cut you. My mother always say when you
okay.
walking, if you feel like somebody even too close to you, cross the street.
Yep.
Because if you're in the street, you can either run away quicker, or be in the middle of the street, get attention, or just to deter them, like just get in the street, just go. She said, "You walk." Or what my mother would do is she'd move to the side and walk past because you're not trying to do that
Right.
to me. Just walk past me,
Yep.
walk past me. So I
Absolutely.
grew up like that. Let me tell you something. My father kept me with a box cutter. My
Hmm.
mother had me. I had a body alarm, and I had mace. My mother was not for that.
Yep. You need
She was
that.
not for it. It's crazy. My
Yeah.
father knew like, the first chance you get, you better take. If they're gonna do something to you, you better take somebody with you. He
Yep.
always said that you grab
Absolutely.
her and take it with you.
That's the
Yeah.
thing, the buddy system. We used to have the buddy system back in the day, but they don't do
Oh
the
yeah.
buddy
Oh
system. I'm
no.
out. I'm leaving by myself. Okay, well, be safe.
No.
Pay attention to your
Mm-mm.
surroundings. You need to. I honestly want to say that's why a lot of people, unfortunately, are missing today. A lot of people have independently left their homes and went to go do something and then never made it back home. I think that you do need that buddy system. I think you do need those things to protect yourself. I think you need body alarms, mace. I think you need, anything to self-defense, anything that
Carry a
supports
blade,
self-defense.
anything.
Absolutely. I want to promote mace.com because I got to tell you, I've had an account with them for the last 20 years and they've gotten so
Really?
much product. I've gotten so much product from them. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for my daughters and everything. Absolutely. They got look up their website. They got everything you need to protect yourself and your daughters and everything. And then if you buy it in
And
bulk, and you hear me, and if you buy it in bulk,
but
you actually
right,
get a
get
discount.
money
You know,
off.
that, discount. And I've had points over
But
there over the course of years,
mm-hmm.
but you
Right.
definitely need that to
But
survive in this world today.
I was gonna
I'm sure.
even take my daughters to the range.
Yeah,
Like it's going
absolutely.
that far. Cause my daughters, if you ever seen my
Listen,
daughters before, two of them are very small. Like they're like me. Well, one of them is taller than me. She's the tallest one. Like she's like about if I'm 5'2", she's about 5'7", something like that. She's taller. My
Okay.
other two, which is the youngest and the oldest, they're small. So it's like they so small. Like I cannot imagine somebody do something to them. I just or either
Yeah.
none of my girls, but they're small. So it's like I
Yeah.
want to take them to the range. I want to do things legally. But at this point, it's like, listen, if I have to do legally or illegally to get you up, I don't care. You up out of
Right.
here.
Listen, I tell everybody, especially females, get a firearm.
Right.
That's that simple. Get a firearm.
But it's hard to
And
get like in Jersey, suppose they make it
no,
hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you right now, in Jersey,
Mhm.
right now, and I keep telling everybody right now in Jersey, get a fire. It's not. It's not as hard as people make it seem.
Mhm.
There's steps involved, but it's not overly difficult. Okay, like right now, you can get 3 firearms permits in about maybe 6 weeks if you
Okay, so you
start the
go to the
process
precinct and
now.
get the paperwork, I believe, or something. What do you do?
Nope. You go to the New Jersey State Police website,
Okay.
okay, and there's a tab for firearm permits. You go on there and you fill out the application online. It's all drop down menus. That's the first step. The second step is in that application, you have to schedule an appointment to get fingerprinted at a fingerprint place near, that'll be somewhere near where you live.
Right.
Once you do that, the fingerprint place will send your prints to the state police. Then what the state police will do is send your application to your local police department, at which time they'll do a background and the chief of police has to sign off on it. Then your police department will call you and say, hey, come down. We did your background. The chief signed off on it. Come down $5 and you're done.
Okay.
Once you do that, that's the final step. You'll get an email saying, hey, you have your 3
Mm.
permits. There are no more physical paper permits, so it'll all be
Okay. So
e-permits.
when you do that, do you when you do that, so they automatically give you a permit for 3, or just like you got to do just 3 applications, like three different,
No, you can do 3 firearms per application. And I always tell
Okay.
people,
Okay.
do 3. Even if you don't
Right.
buy 3 guns, just do 3 because you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you get that permit or the 3 permits, that's when you go to whatever fire. And listen, I know every gun store in the state of New Jersey. So I always tell people, call me, I'll go with you. You go to the gun store, you say, hey, this is what I want to purchase. You have a permit? Yes, here it is. You see what you want. You purchase it right there. It'll take about 15 minutes for them to do a national background check right there in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Once they do that, you're like, all right, here you go. Boom. And you walk out with your weapon.
See?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not as
So
hard.
much.
It's not as hard as people think. In Pennsylvania, it's even easier.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's what I
PA
went to the
so much
range at.
easier. Yeah. They don't even. They
Pennsylvania,
do
you
a
can
very
you can
basic
get a
background
concealed
check.
carry permit in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
But see, and now you can get them. You can also get them in Jersey as well.
Really?
Because this is what happened. You've always been able to get a concealed carry permit in New Jersey, but they would just never approve them.
Right.
You see,
Right.
it's your right. It's your constitutional right to carry a firearm,
Mm.
but it's left up to the states as to whether or not they're going to approve you to do so. New
Mhm.
York State was the same way. So here's what happened. A group got together in New York State and said, you know what, we're going to sue the state. It's our constitutional right to carry a firearm, but they keep refusing us. And they won.
Mm.
The New York Supreme Court said for decades, the state of New York have been violating people's Second Amendment rights. So now people in New York are getting concealed carry permits left and right. So New Jersey sort of writing on the wall and just said, you know what? Let's start issuing concealed carry permits. If people qualify, let's just give it to them.
Mm.
So now it is possible, because at first, the only people that were getting carry permits in New Jersey was retired law enforcement. That's it.
Yeah.
That was it. So, like, for instance, I retired 4 years ago, and I got my, because when you're on the job, you don't need a permit to carry a
Right.
weapon.
Right.
Right.
You got a police training certificate. You don't need a permit. You just carry your gun because you're a cop. But when you retire, you have to go through the steps. So when I retired, it took them like 3 weeks to get me a permit,
Mm.
because again, we were only people getting them. Now it's taking people 6 weeks up to 2 months to get a permit, because
wow.
they have a rush of applicants, of people, civilians,
Mhm.
who are getting their concealed carry permit. So I tell anybody, wherever you are, apply for it.
Okay.
I think you do that. I think you
So
Apply
do that.
for
Joe,
it.
I did want to get your thoughts on bear versus man. You understand that concept? You've seen the TikToks?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
give me your
yeah.
thoughts
I
on,
know.
because me and Jazz gave our thoughts on it. So please give us your thoughts on bear versus man.
I, it's to me when I watch it and I see women say bear, I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, and I say that because of this. And and I understand the mentality behind it and the philosophy behind it. Women are saying, well, I think I'll feel safer with the bear because it's actual men that are the actual predators and this and that. And I'm a practical person, so I say this: can you reason with a bear?
That's what I said.
Right. She said that.
Can you appeal to a bear's senses? Can you say to a bear, please, I have kids, don't hurt me? And there's a chance that bear will say, well, I didn't know you was a mother. I'm sorry. Can you do that with
Right.
a bear? No, you
No,
can't.
absolutely not.
All a bear sees is a meal. So I don't care if it's you or me. You know what I'm saying? So I get the concept and I get the philosophy behind it, but I just think it's another one of those things that a certain group of women are just taken way out of proportion and are using it to just step on and bash men for their own personal agenda.
Yeah.
I think it's idiotic to say that any woman would be safer in an enclosed space with a bear versus me.
Mm.
First of all, I don't eat people. Let's start.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so I think it's an idiotic concept. I understand the philosophy behind it, but I think it's just something that's perpetuated by a certain group of women who have their own agenda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And again, I'm like this. Like I said, I have a wife, I have daughters, and don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna let my life. For instance, my oldest daughter, she went to college over in Philly for her first year, and it was during the pandemic. So for her second year, they didn't know what the hell they was going to do. So she ended up going to school back over here in Jersey, which made me so happy because after the pandemic, Philly just turned into a freaking war zone. But at any
Mm.
rate, she was over there and she loved it because, she was in the city and you can get anywhere and do anything at any given time. And one thing I noticed that she was doing a lot of walking,
Mm.
you know, and her school, her college was in Center City, bordering on Old City, which is a pretty um for like a safe but like well populated area.
Mm.
Put it this way: downtown Newark in the middle of the afternoon, you're not going to see anybody getting raped, robbed, or shot.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely
so
not.
right,
Right.
so that's the kind of place that Center City and Old City is. It's shops and things like that. So when she said she's walking, I'm like, all right, well, you're relatively safe. It's no big deal.
Mm.
But then I'm like, wait a minute, I got to get back into my own reality.
Right.
So I'm like, listen, who are you walking when you're doing this? Oh, I'm always with at least two of my friends. Okay, that's good. Where are you guys going? Usually we go right out to either Broad Street or Market, and we go because there's a Broad Market in Philly as well.
Right. 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 I think
And
that's
I'm
weird.
like, okay, well, densely populated areas, there's always people out. So she was doing it right, doing it safe, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, well, make sure when you go out, you got something in your pocket. You got the blade I gave you. You're with a couple of your friends. You're not by yourself. So, I'm like, I gotta have this speech with her. Like, I shouldn't have to do that. Like,
It's
women
sad.
should be
That's
able
the
to
thing.
go out. Like, you should be able to go out and dress up and do your thing and go. Like, what?
That's
It
what I'm
shouldn't have to
saying.
be people saying, well, what was she wearing? That shouldn't be the
Yeah.
question.
And people don't get that part. It's like, why do I have to be not even be ashamed, but be basically
Yeah,
ostracized for being a woman? What she have? Was she at the time? Like, I spent walking down the street freaking naked if I wanted to. When nobody touching me, it's my right. It's me. But people don't get
you
that.
should be able to do that.
And it's like, why do you feel like you have rights to me that you like? It's weird to me. Like you just like
Yeah.
you have to be out of your tree. Like I
Yeah.
promise you, it's like, and this I tell people also, protect yourself. And it's easy for me. Anybody can go down the street, anything can happen to them. But a woman, I don't know the rate or the statistics of it. but we are unsafe almost everywhere we go. If you go to a bar, we're unsafe. We're walking down the street, we're unsafe. We're at a job because we got to face all type of harassment. We like it's so much stuff we go through as women. It's like it's so hard being us. It's being
It is.
normal people.
It is.
It's terrible. It's
It
terrible.
is. And I'll tell
There's
you
this
a quick
there's this
story.
statement that says that women are the most undervalued human being on
It
this planet.
is. It is. It is. It's true.
It's true. It's sad, but true. And I'll tell you a quick story. When I worked in sex crimes, I had a stranger rape. Female was working at a restaurant in Hoboken, and when she got off to go home that night, she was walking down a quiet. And Hoboken is fairly quiet, and at night it's like ghost town if you go to those back
Mm-hmm.
streets. And somebody attacked her, and in an alleyway. She went home. She threw her clothes in a trash can and showered. Then the next morning, she called the police. So she came in, and I said, "Okay." I said, "Where are your clothes?" She said, "I threw them in the garbage." I said, "Where? What garbage?" She's like, "No, the garbage is still in my house." I said, "I'm going
Right.
to need your clothes." I said, "I have to get your clothes. Can I come by and pick up your clothes?" So she was like, I don't want you to come get my clothes. I said, "I need your clothes. Your clothes are evidence. I have to have them." So I finally talked to, so me and my partner, who's a female, we went over to the house, and I said, but I was lead on the case, so it was mine. So I said, I really need your clothes. And she said, can I give them to her? And my partner said, he's the investigator. You need to give him them. And I said, no, 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 no. I said, throw the
Right.
clothes.
Yeah.
So she brought the clothes out. She had them in the bag, and she looked at me and she said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Why are you sorry?" She's like, "I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have had this on." That shit broke my heart.
Right. Yep. I believe it.
And I
It's
will never
crazy.
forget. She had on. The girl was going out to party. She had on a skirt, little skirt, and a little one of those halter tops that tie around
Yeah.
the back, and her heels. Cute little outfit. A little risque, but it was cute. And she was a 20-something-year-old girl. That's what 20-something-year-old girls. That's what they
Yeah.
wear. That's what they do.
Supposed to wear. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, she shouldn't have to apologize for that. Like, come on. Like, but see,
Exactly.
that's where society puts us. You know?
Yeah. That's where we're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys very much for your perspective.